Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to my first video blog. This is very exciting. I wasn't going to start this until the baby was born, but there's a couple of really exciting things happening in these last few weeks leading up to the birth, so I thought that I would start now. And just to give you a bit of a background as well, sort of like an introductory video, so that all my things make sense down the track. So just a quick background on me if you haven't read my blogs on my website or the About Me page on my website. I'm 33, expecting our first baby, 38 weeks today. So very exciting, almost time. With my partner Chris, well, fiance Chris. We have our two cats, Posh and Bex. Chris is obsessed with David Beckham, so hence the name. I live in Melbourne, Australia. Bit about me, so I come from a background of ballet. I was a ballet dancer for many years. Then I've had a few different career changes. So I have a bachelor's degree in fashion design. And then I got into travel, which is really exciting. So I've been around the world a couple of times, which is really fun. I still love traveling. And I also love health and fitness. So coming from the ballet background, obviously very into your health and fitness, and when I stopped dancing I needed to find a way that I could still work my body, use my body, and so started training at the gym, and also running. So running is also really a big part of my life. I haven't been able to run during this pregnancy due to the fact that I did have a miscarriage beforehand, which I can talk about down the track. And my doctor just advised that it wasn't probably worth running. So I'm really excited to get back into that once she's here. Oh yes, she's a girl. So over the last few years, I've sort of gotten more and more into my fitness and running as well. I did my first marathon last year. Prior to that, I had done half marathons and more running festivals. I do get that from my mum. She loves to run as well, so we've done some running festivals together. But the reason that I love training so much and working out and why I love being fit and healthy is because not only does it help you physically, and I do like how to look good physically, but more importantly, it actually helps me mentally. So I have had some anxiety in the past and some small amounts of depression, and working out releases all these endorphins and actually helps me mentally. And helps me get up in the morning, and it also helps me have more energy. So it's got so many benefits, and without it, especially during this pregnancy, I think I would have gone a little crazy, even though if you ask Chris, he would think I have already gone crazy or had already gone crazy at times during this pregnancy. But that's why. With that as well though, I'm not one of those people that's an extreme health. I have gone through my extreme stages, but I do post-baby and pre-baby love a glass of wine, and I really love chocolate, and I love cheese, and I love indulging, and I love going to restaurants and having beautiful meals, and socializing with friends around food and some wine. And so I do think it's all about balance. And so I do think it's possible to have a very healthy, very active lifestyle, look great, and still enjoy the good things in life and not have to give them up. I don't believe in giving anything up. So yeah, that's a bit about me. I am still going to the gym at 38 weeks pregnant. So I have gone the whole time. It hasn't really gotten harder. I just have to modify some things. So I suppose what I want to say to start with is if you've never ever been to the gym before, don't start going to the gym once you're pregnant. Really talk to your healthcare provider and your doctor, and talk to a trainer at the gym if you do want to start exercising. But if you haven't trained before, now is not the time to start. In saying that though, if you're thinking about getting pregnant and you want to get pregnant, start now. Start training, start getting your body into that rhythm and that routine of exercising, and get your muscles used to the exercises and your heart rate and your everything ready to go. That way, when you do get pregnant, you can continue training, and there are so many health benefits and so many benefits during pregnancy, which I'll talk about. If you have been going to the gym though, there is no reason, unless your healthcare provider tells you to, stop. I think there's a couple of myths out there that exercise can hurt the baby, or all these different things. And of course, I'll go through things to look out for, but if you're used to moving your body and you're used to getting up in the morning or going in the evening and going to the gym and working out, it's so good for you mentally and physically that if you suddenly stop that once you're pregnant, you're actually probably going to find yourself go downhill a little bit, mentally and physically. So as I said, unless your doctor has given you specific instructions not to go to the gym, guys, it's okay to keep going. There are a few guidelines that I've used, which I'll talk you through. But as I said, keep going, it's great, and I'll go through the benefits in a second. So went to the doctor and he was like, yeah, of course, it's still fine to work out. And there's a few things that he recommended, as well as my mum. So my mum's a GP, so it's been really great to have her on call for any questions or problems, or if I'm not feeling right or if something's happening. I'm really lucky that I can just pick up the phone and be like, Mum, what's going on? So a couple of things were no weights above my head. So anything that was going upwards like this, or anything that was resting on my shoulders. So any weighted squats, I stopped straight away. A couple of reasons for this. You already got this little thing growing in your belly and in your uterus, and you don't want any extra weight coming down onto your shoulders, because all it does is push pressure down onto your spine and then down to your uterus as well. So it's not good. So I stopped that straight away. As much as I love training, as much as people keep saying, oh, you sure you should be still training, I would never do anything that I don't feel is right, that I'm not comfortable doing, that hurts, or that is straining me. I have been training for a long time. As I said, I've been training since I was about 21 and I'm 33 now, so about 12 years. So I'm really in tune with my body, and that also comes from doing ballet and dancing. But I will never do anything that hurts or feels uncomfortable. No hugely heavy weights either. So even like picking up dumbbells and things like that, you don't want to be picking extra heavy things up. You're growing a little human, and your muscles start to stretch during pregnancy, and they become, your joints become looser as well. So you don't want to hurt yourself, you don't want to pull any muscles, you don't want to tear anything. So really be careful about the weight that I was picking up. The second thing was to make sure my heart rate didn't get too high. So when you're not pregnant, your resting heart rate can be around 60, 65, 70, depending on how active you are, how fit you are. When you're pregnant, your resting heart rate skyrockets. So resting heart rate, well, I'm talking a lot, so it'll probably be quite high right now. Well, it's 102 right now. But it's usually sits around the 85 mark to 90. So as you can see, it skyrockets when you're pregnant, because you're producing so much more blood for the baby and to go to your placenta. So your heart rate is already elevated, and you don't want to get it over about 150. Getting it over that means that your body is pumping the blood away from your placenta and to your muscles. And you're overheating your body. So not only is your placenta not getting enough blood, you're actually overheating this area, which can have effects. Google it. There's so many things that can go wrong. So I've been really conscious to have my heart rate monitor on me at all times. So girls, get yourself one. That way you can always keep in track. And if it does go a bit high, just stop what you're doing. Just go for a really slow walk. Sit down, have some water, and then keep going. So that was one of the things that both my doctor and my mum mentioned. The other thing was just making sure my heart rate wasn't elevated for too long a period of time as well. So I would go to the gym for about an hour. 5 minutes of that would be a warm-up run or a warm-up cross train or a warm-up bike. This is prior to getting pregnant. And then 10 minutes of that would also be stretching. So I'll talk about stretching as well in a second. Cutting that down, I started cutting it down to 45 minutes. So still doing a 5-minute warm up and still doing my 10-minute stretch. So about 30 minutes of actually intense sort of weight training, if you like, just to make sure my heart rate wasn't pounding for too long as well. So those are the first few things that I did to start with. I still was going 5 times a week. As I said, it gets me up in the morning. I'm a morning person. It makes me feel great for the day. It releases all those endorphins. It keeps me happy. And as I mentioned before, I do love eating. So if I can burn some burn some calories in the gym in the morning, it means I can probably have a snack later in the day, or a couple of snacks or more during this pregnancy, which was really good. As my pregnancy has gone on, I have reduced and changed. Things have to get altered. So now at 38 weeks, I'm sticking to 30-minute workouts. I am doing a Mums and Bubs fitness class at Firm Butts Fitness that are 45 minutes, but I'm having more rest breaks. So just really monitoring my heart rate and making sure I feel fine. If I don't feel fine, I don't do it and I stop. But as I said, so I've had to monitor things. You'll find that some things your belly gets in the way, or they're awkward, or you can't do. So I've just modified it as I've gone along the way, and slowly just cut back to about a 30-minute workout as well if I do go to the gym. Still going 4 to 5 times a week though. I have really tried to go as much as I can. It's so important to me, as I said, mentally. So I really enjoy working out. And I will pop some workout videos up as well so you can see what I've been doing. But things that I've noticed from working out and keeping fit and healthy through my pregnancy that I think other women may have experienced because they don't. And I can't speak for everyone. Every woman's pregnancy is different. You can have the fittest woman in the world and she can still have terrible sickness throughout the whole pregnancy. So please, this is my experience. But you do read things on things that are supposed to happen during your pregnancy. And I've sort of waited for these things to happen and they haven't. And then I've sort of had to put it down to, keeping fit and healthy. So the first thing that people kept telling me, especially around my 20-week mark, when Chris proposed, he got my ring made a little bit bigger because we'd both heard that when you get pregnant and the longer you go in your pregnancy, that you start to swell. So you'll get swelling in your fingers and you get swelling in your feet and your ankles, and your feet can get bigger. And so Chris was like, I'll get it a little bit bigger. So, when you swell, it'll still fit you. Anyway, so I've been waiting for the swelling to come. I've been waiting for my shoes to not fit. I've been waiting for the ankle swelling. Everyone's like, put your feet up, you'll have swelling. And to be honest, it's still just as loose as it was when he bought it for me. I've had no swelling in my ankles, no swelling in my feet. So the only thing I can put that down to is drinking lots of water. So 2.5 liters a day, minimum. Exercising, keeping my body moving, getting that blood pumping around, and eating really healthy. But lots of fresh fruit, lots of vegetables, lots of protein, those sorts of things. So making sure I'm getting my, your 5 a day. So that was one thing that I noticed that helped. The other thing was the tiredness. So I've literally had 2 naps during this whole pregnancy, and people think I'm crazy. But I haven't really needed them. I haven't slept well actually this whole pregnancy. For about 14 weeks, sleeping was really difficult. My hips started to get quite sore. I think that's just from the weight, and they start to change shape getting ready for the baby. So I did end up getting myself a pregnancy pillow. But yeah, so my hips did start getting sore. So I haven't slept this whole time very well. And I have been waking up about 3, 4 a.m. wide awake. It hasn't affected me during the day, which is really weird. So a lot of women have said, especially during the second trimester, first trimester, let me just put it out there, first trimester is ridiculous. And I was tired every single day and nauseous. So I did have those symptoms in my first trimester. But come second trimester, I felt amazing. I had so much energy. I didn't need any naps. And then everyone was saying to me, wait till you get to your third trimester. That's when, you're going to start getting really tired. You're going to have to work out less. You're going to need naps. Come my third trimester, a couple of things happened. So just before the third trimester, I had my glucose test for the gestational diabetes. That showed that I had very low iron. Once I started taking the iron tablets, I had already had energy, but oh my God, my energy doubled in the third trimester. So when everyone was getting more tired, I was having more energy, and it was fabulous. So I actually wish I'd found the iron tablets earlier. But come my third trimester, I was needing no naps. I was fine. I think again, that's from keeping fit and healthy. So when you exercise, you actually create energy. So if you sit on the couch and you don't do anything and then you're tired, you'll actually get more tired. Whereas if you actually get up and get your body moving and get your blood pumping around the body, you'll actually have more energy and you won't feel as tired. So that has also helped that. So I haven't been as tired. I haven't had a sore back either. A lot of women complain about sore backs. I would put this down to the strength in your deep core. So I've always had a really strong core and abdominal muscles back from when I was a dancer. But then as I changed over when I was 21, I've always kept this section really, really strong. Not just from going to the gym, but I do love to do some yoga, some Bikram yoga. And I'm just very in tune with that area of my body. So doing some breathing exercises, which you'll see on my Instagram, which I do every day to make sure my core is really strong, means that if your core is strong, it's not going to put any pressure on your back. So a lot of women, when they are pregnant, they just let themselves flop out like this, you see? And then you're putting all this pressure on your back. Whereas if you actually keep it all tight, you can see that my back is straight and there's no pressure on it other than this. So it's really helped. So I've not had any back pain at all. Yeah, I'm still just as strong there. So I think that's really, really helped as well. Weight gain. I have gained 15 kilos now. I probably started off what most people would think is underweight potentially. So I've always ranged between 51 and 55 kilos, depending if I'm training for a run or not. When I'm training for a run, I tend to be leaner because I'm not doing quite as many weights. And then if I'm not training for a run and I'm in the gym, I weigh a bit more. So I was about 55 kilos beforehand, and I just cracked 70 kilos this week. So 15 kilos. Chris was really excited that I cracked the 7 O's. So I have gained 15 kilos. As I said, it was probably a little bit underweight to start with, but 4.5 kilos of that was in the first trimester, and that freaked me out. I was like, oh my gosh, if I put on 4.5 kilos and the baby only weighed like 50 grams, I was going to be enormous. But you do put on a lot of blood. My boobs quadrupled in size. I am usually a B cup, and now these are an E or a double D. I'm not sure anymore. So you've got boob weight, you've got blood, you've got placenta, you've got amniotic fluid. Your body's doing all these crazy things in the first trimester. So, and also I was eating a lot of carbs. I was just wanting potatoes and pasta the whole first trimester. So 4.5 kilos the first trimester. By the end of the second trimester, I had put on 12 kilos. And then it really has leveled out. So I've only put on another 3 kilos since the end of my second trimester. So in this last trimester, I've only put on 3 kilos. A lot of that I think is actually muscle and baby. I haven't actually put on a huge amount of additional fat, probably just a little enough to hold the baby. So that has also obviously really helped going to the gym and keeping fit and working out. I know that a lot of women post-birth do struggle with losing that baby weight, and you know, if we can avoid it and not put it on in the first place, then it makes coming back from pregnancy so much easier. And you know, it's not only a physical thing, but it's a mental thing. You know, when you're bigger than you usually are, and I've had these mental struggles throughout the pregnancy, when you're bigger than you usually are, it does play on you mentally. And of course, once you have the baby, you hope that you're just going to go back. But if you haven't kept your body in tune and you haven't been keeping healthy and fit throughout the pregnancy, then you're not going to go back as easy as if you were to keep that up while you're pregnant. Birth and labor. So obviously I have no idea how it's going to affect that. Talking to other mums and women out there, if they've been fit and healthy, they've had really great labors and really great births, and then really great post-recovery as well. So I will let you guys know how that all goes once she's here. But I'm hoping that all my hard work has paid off and that I have a good labour and a good birth. And yeah, that all my healthy eating and exercise has helped that. So the countdown's on. 2 weeks to go today. Very excited. Went to the gym this morning and I did some workout videos for you guys so you can see what I've been doing at this stage of my pregnancy. I will do a couple more videos over the next couple of days talking about a couple of really exciting things that are going on. One is my colostrum hand expressing, so stay tuned for that one. And then the other one is a device I've started using leading up to the birth called the Epino. So if you don't know about it, you can Google it before that vlog comes out, and I can give you all the ins and outs and about how I'm using it, and then I can tell you about how it's worked for me post-birth, fingers crossed. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or any comments, please let me know. I'm really excited to start this and then share my pregnancy/birth journey with you, and then into motherhood as well, and then my recovery journey, getting back into shape and with a little bubba. So thank you.